you know Brazilians? Do you know they do more Ifa?
Yes, now Ogun. Yes, now
Oshun.
Yeah, Oshun. Yeah.
I watched a whole documentary.
Yeah.
On it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you go to Brazil, which I would go by the grace of God in my lifetime, they eat akara. Oh, they do. They eat moi moi. They call it akaraje. Their own akara. They just make it akara that went to Harvard. Like you are eating akara with feelings.
Yeah.
So you can have anything. You can have minced meat. You can have chicken. You can have just to jazz it up.
Yeah.
And I've seen some restaurants do it in Lagos too. So it's about knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should cancel anybody because they believe in a religion that you are not used to. When I saw that lady on social, do you know that even Nancy Sime got some backlash recently? Yeah. Where she was doing some meditation, some incense burning.
And being a Christian
and
at the
now
same
she
time.
has some scriptures behind her. You know, I do not know what that is, but I don't think it affects how I see her.
No.
And there are many people that because of somebody like even Kule Afolayan, I don't even think he subscribes to any religion, so to say. There are many people that have contrary beliefs to us, and they are still prominent in their work.
Yeah.
In fact, we had worked with a Buddhist for years before I knew in Cool FM. One of our core newsreader that year, I can't remember his name right now. He was a Buddhist.
Oh, really?
I never knew until one day conversation, and I've known him for more than 4 years. But do you know from the day he said he was a Buddhist?
You can't look at one.
You can't be like, say, he don't grow horn. I can't cancel somebody because, the person is practicing some kind of religion that is different from what I am used to.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. It's Say My Piece. Say My Piece. You know, that podcast where you come say your own piece. The podcast where you come say your mind. Tell us how it is do you. My name is Michael, a.k.a. Ogbolor. And Oscarf, like I like to say. I'm not here alone. And the lady in navy blue with some touch of African prints here and there. Lolo, why? You be like, who go for PTA meeting? Like, I'm here to check my children. How are they doing?
These days, it's rich auntie vibes. You no longer stress yourself over things that are not important.
The one and only Lolo one of every. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, my children.
No, go clap for back. Now go clap now.
Thank you, my children.
Because no women now need to be hyper now. It's part of your daily.
No, but you've always hyped me. You've always hyped me. On Mother's Day, Obolo sent me such a beautiful message.
Oh, that's true.
I cried.
That's true.
You know, I like it when people just think of you. And that thing, they always kill me about you.
These are things I'm learning. Not just learning, I know to do, but I think it's very important that people need to do those things. I mean, find people in your life who are quite important to you and just...
It's important too, because life is so transient. It passes so quickly that the beautiful moments are the moments we shouldn't forget. And that's what a lot of people do. You just continue with your life. You just find out that I'm missing in the action of people that I truly care about. And I don't think it's a good thing. So thank you for always being
You're welcome.
My brother.
You're welcome.
I love you. You're
welcome. I love you. I love you.
Today you give us, on a
today,
level.
make I just tell you the truth. I don't get clothes to wear today. You know those kind of days when you just look at your clothes, just say, whoa, make I just carry the gangster one. So it was one of those days.
Well, you know us women, sometimes you have garments that you have not, like this dress, and I don't think I've seen it in 4 years.
But today,
when my PA picked it, I just said pick dresses for podcast today. And she picked it.
And she brought it out. And here you are, looking amazing.
Lush. Lush. You know, when you said something about Africa's, you said something.
Prints.
African print.
Prints on your dress.
It leads me to our discussion today.
Big, big,
bag. African print. You know, a lot of us are, even me for a long time. Do you know, I never used to think to myself that there are other religions aside Christianity and maybe Islam. Yeah. And I think it's an error on our part. Because the fact that we don't even think that there are is as if we have shut them out or remove their own voices. And we now try to amplify the voices of what we choose over the voices of what other people choose.
Yeah.
And that thing set me thinking some many weeks ago that, when I saw on social media, I saw a lady, beautiful girl. She got married in an Ifa temple. Her husband is a traditionalist too. She is, I think like 2 years ago, Seth, I think they married. They even have a child. I saw their naming their child with Ifa culture, and I was fascinated. I had never really seen it in that way. Maybe because in Africa we have now pushed our traditional religion to the back. So it feels as if there are no people, especially in these times, that you think still practice that religiously. I actually think it's something we need to contend with. And that's why I said, okay. And there's another major Hollywood star who made a pronouncement on a red carpet that's brought another line of thinking. Cancel culture, don't start. They said Michael B. Jordan
it was on red carpet.
His latest film.
So he just basically talked about himself being, I think, an Ifa worshiper or something, a traditionalist, and that got the entire social media going crazy. So people came out and started talking about Christians, basically. People need to be careful, why watching these guys, because you have to be careful. You don't know what they are carrying and all of that. So it introduces this whole cancel culture thing. Where once people don't like something that you do, or it doesn't resonate with them or their beliefs, they just feel like, oh yeah, we need to cancel you. And which I had a problem with, even as a Christian, as a Christian, not just a Christian religiously, but as a practicing one, right? I think that many of us Christians also need to grow.
Totally.
We need to grow away from just, this is all I know, and let me just stay there. There's a lot to life. It's in the times past, for example, and I see a lot of Christians also growing knowledge-wise. Because, for example, there was a time when you couldn't wear trousers in some churches. But today, knowledge has come. People can and even argue their case now without, they have knowledge now, right? But I think most Christians actually need to do better. But again, I still think that because you said something when we started now, everybody likes to champion their own religion as, and I'm doing my best possible not to sit on my Christian. You get?
But that's your personal conviction.
My own view on all of this.
I'm a Christian myself, so I know. But when I was growing up, my dad's best friend was a Muslim, Alhaji, who grew up with the two of them. Their houses were the same, was side by side in Solo. It's only pillar that made their houses different. Alhaji put pillar, round pillar, we put square. That's all. We grew up that way. In fact, they would go with us to church on Sunday. We go with them to Echooroom on Friday. We grew up that way. It was when I became an adult that I knew that, there's a difference in our belief system, which is okay. I have always been a tolerant person. I try my best not to speak about what I do not know. I say I'm a Christian, and that's what I talk about. I don't know anything about traditional religion. Except what was even erroneously taught to us through films. That is not the truth of some of their religion. Many of them have made us to believe that, anytime you practice traditional religion is the dark arts. They are evil.
And that is the thing. Anytime people think of traditional religion,
just think of
it immediately tilts towards evil.
Dark arts. Evil.
Blood and all of
sacrifice.
That.
I have come by knowledge to find out that some of those things are not true to the religion that they say they practice. I doubt if there will be any real practicing, maybe traditionalists, that will tell me that they still believe in human sacrifice in this time. Maybe in the times past, I do not know. But even for us, it just made us know that the world that we are living is diverse. Even you that say you're a Christian, there are many arms to Christianity. Catholics might think you're a non-Christian. Anglicans might think you're a non-Christian. Even among Pentecostals, there are still many divisions.
There's still Jehovah's Witness.
Those are even sects. Mormons day.
Yeah.
Ekanka day.
Yeah.
You have people like Buddhism.
Yeah.
So religions are a lot. A lot. But because many of us do not have knowledge of everything, I always tell people that, okay, why do you judge other people so harshly? Because we were born into a Christian home. Those that were born into purely Islam homes, that's all they've known.
Yeah.
That is their truth.
Yeah.
And that's what they have been following. My own is that we must come to a point that we must be able to tolerate everybody.
Yeah.
Even if I'm trying to introduce my religion to you, which is Christianity, sometimes it's not by forcing you.
No, it shouldn't ever.
Just like
it should never be a forced thing. Yeah.
Can be free to say, "Ogbola, I would love you to become an Ifa worshipper. Oh, these are the advantages of worshiping the Pinoloku. These are our festival." Don't Christians, don't you they listen to us when we do evangelism? Okay, most of the other religion, the way we see it played to us, is just what we see on telly.
Yeah.
If I ask you now, what is the tenet of Buddhism? You don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
This is nothing. But I know a little bit. Because like 5 years ago, I was curious. I started watching some Philippine films. And I was a bit confused about what they thought of the afterlife. So I started Anubis. And I started Googling that, okay, what do they believe? Oh, so when they die, they believe that you have to wager for your life. So they make sure they bury you with a precious thing. So when you get there, you will give that gold or something to be able to cross to the afterlife.
Yeah.
That is their belief.
Yeah.
And they believe again that, if you die, you are born again.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you have died in perpetuity. Yeah. And do you know reincarnation cuts across a couple of religions?
Yep.
And I look at it and I think on it that, wow. So that means some people, this was how they were born. This is all they've ever known. They don't know any other. Christianity to them is alien.
Just the way you said, you were talking just about this Buddhism now.
Yeah.
And I saw me laughing.
Yeah.
It's the same way some people also laugh when we talk about some things about Christianity.
Like, Jesus died
on the cross. Like, really? Like, guy, you know.
But that's why I don't think we should get to that point that we will judge other people.
Yeah.
I don't judge what I don't know. I would only speak of what I
about
know.
what you know. Yeah.
Any other thing, I will say, please be excuse me.
Exactly.
It's just like entering a Deeper Life church and you have no head covering. No matter what I believe. Because I know that this sect, this particular doctrine is very important to them.
Yeah.
So if I'm going there, I would just respect.
Of course.
It's just like coming into the temple of some white garment churches in shoes. And they are Christians. So we have to get to this point that everybody should just calm down. I can't cancel somebody because, the person is practicing some kind of religion that is different from what I am used to.
Yeah. No, I see it happens again. It's also because sometimes, like you said, media too has played a huge role with this. They present, if you see movies, for example, you want to see most of these epic movies. The next thing you start to see, so anything. And secondly, there's also the part our parents played too while bringing us up. You know, they said a lot. If you go to your village, they will kill you. This and this. So somehow you attach that to traditional worship. You know, and I went them to, they were growing up. They were not really Christians, that they were serving one thing in their family. There was this God that doesn't, and somehow everybody in the family now, things are not working for them because so now they have to leave those gods and start to call. Now all of these two have also played a role in how we think. So now, whenever you hear traditional people speak or religion, you just cancel it immediately. Yeah. That's why people could literally say, Michael B. Jordan, no, we'll not put hand together. But then again...
But do you know Brazilians? Do you know they do more Ifa?
Yes, now, Ogun. Yes, now.
Oshun.
Yeah, Oshun, yeah.
I watched a whole documentary on it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you go to Brazil, which I would go by the grace of God in my lifetime, they eat akara.
Oh,
they do. They eat moi moi. They call it akaraje. their own akara, they just make it akara that went to Harvard. Like you are eating akara with feelings.
Yeah.
So you can have anything. You can have minced meat, you can have chicken, you
With
can
it.
have just to
Yeah.
jazz it up.
Yeah.
And I've seen some restaurants do it in Lagos too. So it's about knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should cancel anybody because they believe in a religion that you are not used to. When I saw that lady on social, do you know that even Nancy Sime got some backlash?
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
When she was doing some meditation, some incense burning,
and being a Christian
and
at the
now
same
she
time.
has some scriptures behind her. You know, I do not know what that is, but I don't think it affects how I see her.
No.
And there are many people that because of somebody like even Kule Afolayan, I don't even think he subscribes to any religion, so to say. There are many people that have contrary beliefs to us, and they are still prominent in their work.
Yeah.
In fact, we had worked with a Buddhist for years before I knew in Cool FM. One of our core news readers that year,
Okay.
I can't remember his name right now. He was a Buddhist.
Oh, really?
I never knew until one day conversation, and I've known him for more than 4 years. But do you know from the day he said he was a Buddhist,
You can't look and walk.
you can't be like say he don't grow horn, he don't change.
I think that we all have that thing. All of us. As the way somebody wear tie now with red wrapper.
Yeah. But who even made all those things into symbols for us? What made us think that red is bad?
Is danger.
Do you know in some cultures, red is their best color?
Yeah.
It's the color of fruitfulness. It's the color of blood. They call it life. They believe it's life-giving.
Yeah.
They wear it for weddings.
Yeah.
But in Africa, look at us. Is it not imbibed white wedding? What made you think that white, that we call white, to some people is a symbol of badness? It might not be something positive.
To other people.
To other people.
To us is purity.
Yes, to us is purity, is life, is everything. But to some other people say, white. That is for the dead here.
Yeah. It's like before, it's like how so many years back you could not even wear black to a white wedding. There was a time you couldn't wear white to it.
Now,
but
reception gown.
Baba,
everybody they wear red, they
even
wear
as
green,
MC said, they wear black. Nobody's saying
anything you
and
like.
Things have changed.
I've even seen somebody wore for my first wedding. I wore blue, powder blue with African prints on it. Because it was raining, it was different at that time. I just wanted something different. I didn't want the conventional.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And nothing happened. It doesn't make any difference. So people canceling people because they think they believe otherwise.
Yeah.
So if it is that, why is Nollywood thriving? Have you ever seen a Nollywood that there will not be a Dibia, an Ifa priest, an Oshun worshipper inside? And the resolution of the epic film is still that the God saved them.
Yeah. I just think that we need to start to learn to accommodate other people.
Yes.
We must learn. I see a lot of Christians make that same mistake. I, being a Christian, I repeat, make that same mistake. I don't think even with the Christ that we serve, right? I don't see it in the Bible where he was
discriminatory. Somebody that ate with tax collectors.
He spoke about love and loving other people. I don't think many of us Christians also still have come to understand the role that love plays in all of this.
No.
You must come from that place of love, not from a place to come and bring down people. It must come from a place. Even when you want to evangelize or talk to people about your own faith and all of that, it must still come from that place. Not to, because again,
as I even want to say that as much as they tolerate us, do Christians, do you know that I'm a Christian? I love God. I love Jesus. But do you know I find some of our practice distasteful? Look at it now. They picked up a woman in England for preaching inside a bus with a chosen kiddie and megaphone. In that side,
it's
disturbing people.
Exactly.
Maybe somebody is going to the office, is trying to be in the train and just concentrate on something, and you not say, I want to share the word of God with you. I see them do it at bus stops. And sometimes it's not because I'm a Christian. If it is a Muslim that did their call to prayer, I know how some of us that are Christians will go against. 1 year like this, I almost went to report some people because I felt that during fasting they will wake you up.
Yeah.
tolerance.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people have tolerated us Christians for
exactly.
so long? They tolerate our evangelism.
Yeah.
They tolerate sharing of flyers. So if an Osun person
tolerates some of our songs. There are some of our songs that also speak about other people's religion.
Yeah. Mami water power.
You understand?
Powerless
so
power.
we also need to be very careful because again, there was one that happened not so long ago. I think it was in a mosque. They wrote something about a Christian or so. I don't know. You remember that? I've forgotten how it went, Sha. You know, and they had to look into it, and they took it out at some point. But then again, I said, this is how many of us too, as Christians,
yes,
we've sang songs and mentioned some people's religion, and they don't fight us.
Way. They didn't kill us. So if an Ifa worshiper comes to you, I don't expect you to say, leave me.
Yeah.
There are many people that over the years I have seen their managing to listen.
Yes.
So if an Ifa woman wants to talk to me, I should respectfully listen. And I'll say thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I move on.
Finish.
It's finished.
Nobody's going to put a gun to your head.
I don't have to imbibe it. And she's not asking me to leak anything. Do you know how many people have even conformed to our image, especially us Christians, because we have pushed the gospel in their face, and they did because of that do anything to us?
Yes.
They listen.
Yeah.
But many of us, we have gone to break shrines of people in the village that some people's faith is tied to.
Again, everything just for me, understand your own
and stay by it.
And stay by your own, right? Again, it's not a game of getting physical. No, this is spiritual. This is some spiritual stuff. So everybody day your day, because again, even in our time today, in our time today, I've just come to realize that everybody, the one you know, you now make that one that you know become everything. Every other person anybody knows, every other thing that any other person knows becomes irrelevant to you. You get, sometimes I think we should all come to that point where we have conversations. Let me also be able to listen to my Muslim friend. Yeah. Okay, and you know, I was in Kaduna some years back, went to anchor the wedding of a friend of ours. We all went to secondary school together. I schooled in Edo State, so most of my friends are Edo boys, you know, Benin boys and all. And in Benin, everybody's not a Christian.
Of course.
You know, there are people who their fathers are chief priests.
Chief priests.
You know, and these are people I went to school with. When we went to Kaduna, we were all sitting and we were all gisting, you know, on table and everything. And these conversations came. I have one of my friends, he has done all the religion. Oh, that's one. He has practiced everything. Wow. Then there's this other one who is, you know, Muslim. There's this one who his father is a chief priest, and in fact, there are a number of them. And then there's some of us who were Christians. And we're all just sitting on the table. At the end of the day, I found that conversation so enriching. That our friend who had probably, he had done Christianity, he has done Islam, done tradition, he had done that one he was mentioning one time, you know, and he said at the end of the day, he knows, this was a person that was born into a Catholic family. When we were in secondary school, he was a core Catholic. But now, I mean, to him, he's still a Christian, but he has the knowledge of other religions. And that has brought him to a place where he accepts other religions and just allow them to do their thing. Yeah. You know, because the understanding he has been able to gain from them, you know, has shown him some other things that sometimes God is expressed in different ways, right? But not necessarily how we see it and how we think things to be. That there are deeper levels to all of these things that we are looking at, but then that's a conversation for another day. But I just think that more of us Christians used to be tolerant, you know, be accepting to other religions.
Accepting. I don't even think, it's just like, do you know if you're in a hospital?
Now, sorry. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you believe that they are probably doing the right or wrong religion.
Our belief system is personal to you.
Yes, you can still stick to your own belief.
I don't need to judge a religion I don't know anything about. Yeah. Whoever puts their faith in it has judged it faithful for them. Just like I've judged Christianity faithful for me.
Yeah.
So I don't speak. When you go to hospital, are you asking the doctor if you're a Christian or a
doctor? Yeah.
And they tell you that, oh, the doctor is Dr. Ishaku Mukaila, and he's the best neurosurgeon in the world, and he's the one to operate on you. Are you going to refuse him
And say you want
based on his religion.
And say you want a Christian.
I want a Christian.
Doctor.
And if there's no Christian that has that kind of...
Will you die?
Will you die? Because... But some people are so fastidious even about their religion that they will not even take blood.
Exactly.
Like Jehovah's Witnesses, no matter what you do, if you give them blood, they will sue you. So that's the tenets of their religion.
Yeah.
Respect it.
Yeah.
I think the pivot or the take home for me in this particular discussion, because when it comes to religious discussions, it's a bit sensitive.
Yep.
Because no matter how you want to speak about it, there is nothing I can do now to enlighten Muslims. I don't know the Hadith.
Yeah.
I don't know the Quran. I only know the Bible. Even the Bible that I know, I don't know everything. The interpretation of it, we believe, comes to you based on different things.
Yeah.
How you can interpret one line of scripture, you can interpret it 200 times.
Yeah.
And some people will tell you that that's an error. It's just supposed to mean what it means.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even among our own faith, we still have division.
Yeah.
So if you now go, because of that, you cancel every other person. How are you sure?
How much of your own do you even know?
Do you even know?
How deep? If you're not born into your own religion, would you have chosen that religion? Let's just say, okay, fine, you're not born Muslim, you're not born Christian.
You were born as... That lady that I saw on social media, me and her could have met at a wedding.
Yeah.
She's still a normal human being. But this is just her religion. She's an Ifa worshipper. Or Oshun or something. And that's how she's raising her child up. Ogbolo, I saw their child learning their traditional incantations. He was saying it. Just like you will make your child read scripture. Just like an Islamic person will make their child read the Quran. Just like a Buddhist will probably read the tenets of their Buddhism in their Buddhist book or something. So that shows you that tolerance is all we can preach. Because
these are the ways that, for example, in Nigeria, that many politicians are using
to divide
us. And if we continue to flow with all of these things this way, man, forget. You are part of Nigeria's problem.
Look at it now. Boko Haram believes a certain thing. That's why they are killing people.
Yeah.
They don't believe in education.
Yeah.
Other people believe in education.
Yeah.
Some believe that, if you are going to have any kind of education, it should be Islamic education.
Yeah.
Imagine if they forcefully Islamize all of us.
And then there are Muslims who are against that same thing.
I mean, I would ask them, I said, does Islam? They said no.
Yeah.
That their Islam doesn't teach this, doesn't teach. Sometimes I ask questions.
Yeah.
Because we are journalists. And I need to be able to give an unbiased opinion about something.
Exactly.
What will you do, Ogbolo? If you are to interview an imam, the sheikh of maybe Dubai, you have the privilege of interviewing him. Are you going to interview him and say, because he's a Muslim?
He's a Muslim, yeah, I mean.
You're going to set aside your
whatever
faith
belief, yeah.
Talk what is the pivot of the conversation. Also, how do you rule? What does do you rule by Islam? Are you following Islam tenets, or there's a constitution?
Yeah.
You ask them questions based on what you need to ask them.
Yeah.
Not because they are this or that. Wars. Religion has been the foundation of wars for years.
This is to separate people.
Separate people.
Basically.
Put us apart. Look at me as a child. Now, they have corrupted me. Because when I was a child, I didn't even know that there was a difference. I learned how to read some Islamic, some of their Quran. Then, because that was how we grew.
Yes, no.
In fact, my dad would say, carry your sister. And I saw they go hold me by hand.
Carry you, they move straight.
They move. On Sunday, they go wear clothes, follow us.
When I saw Nancy's my friend, but when I saw that particular thing again, I was like, again, while we're even talking about being accommodative, I also think it's very important that people also need to learn where to draw lines.
But that there are some
things.
Them.
No, wait. There are some things that I believe that we shouldn't mix, because people don't also have full knowledge of certain things. Now, that type of, like when she was doing what she was doing in that video, it was the what they call yoga posture, and that is attached to Buddhism. Mostly, it's not a Christian practice. Now, Christians, they'll say meditate on the word of God. Yes, but we have our way to do that. But again, I'm saying this because even in saying let us be accommodative to other religions, people should also learn to draw. Now, no come me say now because you be Christian now.
When you say draw
you can't
line,
carry. Because again, I'm careful.
You cannot draw line for anyone.
And no, I say people must learn not to mix religions.
That is what you think. That is your belief. You do not know her belief and she has not come to tell you.
No, of course.
Do you know in this same town, there is something called Christmas? In Brazil, there is a church that they practice trado Christianity.
So, yeah.
I find it confusing. But to those that practice it, they probably understand it. And I don't think Nancy has come out to say, oh, this is what I am practicing.
No, I know Nancy to be a Christian.
You know her to be a Christian.
Yeah.
Is it your kind of Christian? Does she come to your church?
Again.
Does she believe your own?
At the end of the day, Lord, I get you. And I get your perspective. Because again, where the world is today, to a large extent, is also because people did not draw lines for certain things. Now, of course, we cannot say, we can't have to draw line for everybody, but to a large extent, that is why some religions have strict rules. Because it's also important. If not, people are going to people are going to wake up and many things that we see today, where you self know say, it's just like people that are getting married to cars today, getting married to trees, getting married to their dogs, right? If we allow things to continue to go like that, we'll complain for the rest of our life.
But the thing is,
so what I'm saying is, let us just also know where not to start to mix things.
What I am telling you is
because again, in the next 10 years, will they talk this matter out?
You to tell anyone not to mix.
It is not
that is their choice.
It is not for me to tell anybody
that I don't want to mix.
So then why Lolo, if you are talking about this thing, so why do we teach anything?
No, the thing is, everything that we imbibe in this life is personally chosen.
Yeah.
You choose the path.
But then again, don't you still have restrictions, at least things that guide you?
On what I say, I believe. You see, that's why we have to.
But certain organizations, religions, or bodies also have the things.
Individual, you don't know the sect to which she belongs.
It's not even a Nancy thing. I'm not even talking about that.
Because you were using her as a case study. Yeah. I'm just saying that there might be a new hybrid religion. Do you know there's something called New Age now?
But are we accepting everything? That's again part of the gist.
You cannot tell if somebody chooses to be a New Age. There's Scientology.
Yes.
So what is your business? Just the same way we have said tolerate.
Yeah.
You should tolerate New Agers.
Yeah.
Because that is what they say they believe. Maybe New Agers, I don't know. I'm just hypothetical. I don't tell you that I know their church. I don't know their tenant. Maybe there's a sect that actually believes this yoga pose is their meditation style, and they read Bible. The day I saw a Mormon Bible, do you know I didn't know? It was when I opened the books.
Yeah.
And I started seeing Melchizedek. And I started seeing some strange books. And there was still Peter there. There was still Matthew there. But based on knowledge, is what made me know that I don't think this is the same kind of
Bible that we have,
Bible that I read. Even some Catholics still read some canonized books. They call it some name. I shall know that is not in some other Bible.
No, of course, people are reading different books that were taken out of the Bible.
All I say is that the only thing I will say, and this I cannot say beyond that, because tolerate everyone, respect what they believe. If you really want to know, it's just like when I met a Christmas. It was the most confusing thing I've ever seen. They will pray the Bible and they will pray on the mat. I found it confusing because I don't know anything about the religion. I know the religion separately. They read the rosary because the Muslims too read the beads. So I knew that this is not for me. I knew
Yeah.
that I am not choosing this. But for those that chose it, shikena, I'm not judging them. I don't have anything to do with the religion. I respect it. I cannot tell somebody, oh, how about somebody wakes up tomorrow and say, I'm an Ifa Muslim.
Would that be acceptable?
It's not to you. It's not acceptable to me.
But
you will be surprised that they will have a following.
And
there are no people that go to Church of Satan.
Wait now, Lolo. Again, at the end of the day, that there is a following doesn't necessarily...
We're not judging the veracity of the religion, so be careful.
Yeah.
It's not the veracity of the religion.
Because again...
Satanism to them is a religion.
Of course, everybody get their own. But what I'm saying necessarily, Lolo, is this. A time would come when we'll allow everything. And I'm not saying start to clamp down on people's we should just have to clamp down on people's choices, as to what they want to worship or their religion, but then that there are already existing religions and how they operate. I'm just more careful about the fact that eventually more people are going to start to mix these religions and start to do what they want to do. And at the end of the day, it starts to, you may not necessarily know what the religion is about again. You get, for example, Christianity now, if tomorrow now somebody comes out and starts to mix this and mix that and say, oh, it's what they believe, which of course, yeah, it's what they believe. But then again, I also believe that, for example, a Christian body should be able to say, this is how we operate as Christians.
Do you know that even now, I don't want us to...
That's my own. Everybody's saying their own piece.
Even in this...
You get?
Yes,
I still believe that. Because again, tomorrow now, they will now say, okay, you hear everything on social media today. Oh, Christians are doing this one. Meanwhile, it's one person that has started one kind of Christian move that is different from then. All Christians are now suffering for that one Christian's own that decided to now mix this one and mix this one. So this Christian is doing traditional, is doing Islam, is doing Ifa, is doing because that is what he believes that this is it. But shouldn't there be at least to say, okay, this is how Christians believe, or this is what they believe, and this is what Christians do. This other one is not Christianity. But some people are going to argue that one is Christianity.
Yes. This argument would go on forever.
I shall believe that there should be some distinctions.
I would say that the only person that I'm responsible for is me. Maybe my household. But I cannot determine what the next person chooses to believe. It's their choice. I might be responsible for me and my household. But I cannot tell another person this. If they like, let them mix ancestral and mix it with this and mix it with that. When the Pope died, people see had a problem with the burial rites.
Yeah, of course.
With the style.
Of course.
And some Christians will speak, even amongst the household of faith.
Yeah.
People are still speaking against each other based on scriptures.
Yeah.
So this is something, is like existentialism, discussing it. Where did man come from? I don't like to put my hand in all those kind of things. I just tell myself, Omotunde, what have you chosen? I have chosen to believe in Christianity. I believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus. Oto, some might tell you that I don't know them. Maybe the person will say, I believe in the death and elevation of the Holy Spirit. That, concern me. My own is, we need to stay focused. And I will not, because of that, imagine if all of us took a gun and started shooting people that didn't believe the same way we did.
No, it's not supposed to happen.
But it has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Where there have been jihads.
They are extremists.
Where extremists kill people.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that you don't believe the same way they believe.
Yeah.
So you see, when it comes to this topic, it's a topic that I take with a lot of...
Sometimes, even all these killing things, even Christians had the time that they were doing their own. If you want to go to history.
Did we fight Christian wars?
If you want to go to history.
When the Anglo-Saxons, when they would go to war in the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
In old England.
Yeah.
So
if you want to go through all of that.
This topic, we can't finish.
At the end of the day, well, everybody is going to tell us what
do you believe?
Do you think? Because Lolo has said, for her, it's her own self and her household, though, she cannot. I believe that, yes, definitely we should we should be accommodating to other religions and not necessarily cancel every other person. Yeah. But Christian bodies should also be able to put restrictions around what they believe, and people should not mix things. personally. You know, what do you think? Let's also hear from you, and you let us know in the comment section what you think. You know, because
the
these
comment
days
section will be wild on this one.
Because for me, the thing what they see this, I don't even know which one would they do against. Because
as far as I'm concerned, I no longer look towards people. I try to focus on what I believe, because if you don't continue to do that, you will become confused. So I remember one of our very close friends that changed to traditional religion. He died in it.
Yeah.
It was.
I have 2 friends. That one has this one you mentioned. He has died.
Yeah.
I have one now that is almost like mad. He's almost like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, some days back I saw, in fact, but again, I accepted him.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to try to, force. No. If at all I'm too pressed, I can pray for him. That's it.
Exactly. I pray for him.
Finish, but to say I have to, you are going down the devil's hole. No, I beg, because that my guy, he engaged him in conversation. He had reasons. This guy drew that Star of David, what they call, on the floor. He had people stay at different corners. He was in the middle, bruh. But then again,
I do not involve myself.
I just do like this.
I don't know.
When we were all younger, this is my guy that we all started churches. Together. You get, so again,
those kind of things, I will step outside that circle. I know, because except I'm there for maybe wedding, and there are places that even these days I will just go for reception.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about
whether they go serve, whether they
just
go
like
worship.
Somebody, a Muslim, calling you to MC a wedding reception. Would you reject them?
Because of course, I've anchored some weddings.
So many.
Lolo, do you know what? So there was a Muslim wedding that I was taking care of the reception. I was holding myself not to say praise the Lord.
Ogbolo, I have to say, I do know how many allow Egbolo Tobi, Allahu Akbar. I had to say, because that is where I am.
At every point, because
imagine if you said, praise the Lord, Jesus is Lord. That would be you imposing you.
Yes, now that
them.
You shouldn't. Again, like you said earlier about that person that went to Yankee, that went to be inside boss. Nowhere you they go, they do your because you wear lemon cloth for Nigeria and you walk. No mean say you go wear and
so go wear inside boss. They disturb people.
So please, just let us know what you think at the comment section, and then let us just vibe on your comments. All right, we want to read from you, and then in the nearest future, we're going to bring pastors, we're going to bring imams, we're going to bring. Let's just hear from even traditionalists. Let us, let's hear from them and everything. So.
And if you love to have this conversation with us, please feel free to slide in our DMs. We'll be very available to discuss with you. Guys, continue to like our posts. Please continue to subscribe. Continue to share. Because if you enjoy what we talk about on Say My Piece, it will be wicked of you not to spread the word. At least be our evangelist. Till we'll see you the next time. Ciao.
Peace out, y'all. Peace out.